Hi guys and good morning. It's me once again MJ and I wanted to share with you the DepEd 2019 WINS program. So in the Coordinated School Health Program, we also need to know some of the programs that are already implemented, no? They are already being conducted. So one of the policy that we're going to discuss today is more about the WASH program or WASH in School or what they call the WINS program. So moving forward, let me share with you. So in 2016, the Department of Education issued a DepEd Order Number 10, Policy and Guidelines on the Comprehensive Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene in WIN School. So the goal is to ensure a safe and conducive learning environment in school and enable children to be in the best condition to participate and learn in school. So we are further minimizing the number of absenteeism in school. So there are also some places that don't have the good facilities in terms of sanitation. So hygiene and sanitation are very essential in good health, no? So adequate water supply and adequate toilet and proper hand washing facilities are required to achieve good hygiene and sanitation. So the lack of access to these facilities causes the risk of people's health, especially for children. However, the mere presence of these facilities is not enough to achieve better hygiene and sanitation among the community members. However, giving them the learning and giving them the education on how they're doing it can be possible, but without the facilities needed for this program, this can never be possible. So proper and correct practices in the use of these facilities must be practiced to maximize the benefits and achieve the impact to the well-being of the community. So actually here in the Philippines, no, we are considered to be as developing countries, and over 24 million Filipinos lack improved sanitation. So the Department of Health has made significant strides in this regards over the past 2 decades. So poor sanitation practices among over 20 million poorest Filipinos have been linked directly to poverty, thus bringing the vital role of government in breaking the cycle of poverty and ensuring access to improved drinking water and sanitation. So the lack of access to safe and water supply and poor sanitation and hygiene practices among the nation's poorest families have led to estimated 43.7% and 44.7% of preschool age and school age Filipino children respectively having soil transmitted health infection. So that's why we already coordinate, we have already, or the Department of Health have implemented these 3-in-1 activities, which is the deworming and the hand washing technique or the hand washing program or the wash in school program to be as one. Okay, so anyway, my name is Mary Joy Bautista, teacher and nurse by profession, and let me share with you about this school health programs. So to start with, let me give you a quote about Tom Rath. So if a school makes an effort to provide kids the right food and help them to be more active, so this benefits the student and the family's health. If you embark on a program to improve health with a church or community group, you are more likely to stick with it over time. Okay, so the more practices that we have, the more implementation that we're going to have every day, we're going to do it. So eventually this becomes a behavior. From the behavior, it will become their habits, and their habits becomes behavior becomes a regular future. So once it's developed, the health behaviors of each of your students can fully develop if we continually practice this program. Okay, so what about this WINS program? This is actually This is what is a DepEd program. So this is a school-based program that promotes correct hygiene and sanitation practices through hygiene and sanitation education and the provision of standards for safe water supply and appropriate sanitation facilities. And this is very important with the help, of course, of each and every teachers, especially for PE teachers and health teachers, which plays a vital role in the implementation of this good health practice. So, not only for the previous years that has been happening now, but of course the rampant situation that is happening, which is the pandemic, and we observe that hand sanitation, hand washing is the vital role in the dissemination of infection. Okay, so moving forward, so what are the reasons why we used to implement this? Okay, so the reason why we are going to do this is in order for us to reduce the morbidity and mortality among school children to stem from poor hygiene and sanitation practices and the lack of safe water and sanitation facilities. We are very lucky that we are living in school-based or community wherein we are closest to the cities. But there are also some areas that are far-flung areas wherein water supply and water facilities are not yet available. So this includes the reduction of morbidity and mortality. Even mortality can come in. It's because of, like, for example, the dehydration, which can be prevented by simply as washing their hands. Even though you already educate your children, you already educate your students, but then if they don't have the proper facilities, like for example, good comfort rooms, they don't have good water supply, sanitation facilities, the ratio of the comfort rooms have not met these guidelines and standards. So the learning and education will not be possible because of the lack of facilities. So promotes positive behavior changes among the young people, as what I've mentioned earlier. Once these behaviors are already developed, it will take them for the rest of their life. No, if we are going to promote this, if we're going to do this for several days, several years, and therefore these healthy behaviors will really progress. So this will also improve the health, quality of life, and prospect for a productive future, promote gender equality, and affirms children's right to health and education. Because we believe that each and every one of us has the right to health and right education. So what are the key components of the WASH in schools? So WASH in school focuses on the standards and promotion of a clean and safe school environment, in correct and hygiene sanitation practices among learners. So this can be started, of course, before you're conducting, before the school children will come into their classes. It is really observed that they are going to wash their hands prior to get inside the classroom, where they can do, before taking a snacks, they need to form their lines and then do the hand washing. Okay, so this is very essential and this is very, very important. We can implement these practices only if we have good facilities. But of course, in our country, in our situation, these facilities may not be available. So therefore, we can go beyond that in producing, in facilitating. How are we going to do for us to meet these guidelines and standards? So DepEd Order number 10 series of 2016. This is the DepEd Water Sanitation and Hygiene in Schools, or what we call the WINS program. Okay, so drinking water is really very essential, no? So not only for hand washing, but this is for the consumption, daily consumption of human beings. Not only in school, at home, but of course the entire community needs water. Aside from the air that we breathe, water is very essential. But sometimes if these water are not potable, so we really cannot meet the guidelines. So therefore, we need to coordinate with the local government units, government, non-governmental education organizations in order for us to implement this kind of guidelines and policies. Sanitation is very important, and of course, the hand hygiene, which is a healthy behaviors that we really need to implement in order for our students to practice good hygiene. Okay, so what is WINS? What is the WINS washing school? So access to sufficient quality of safe water for, of course, drinking and of course hand washing after defecation or after using the comfort rooms, before they will eat and after they will eat, or for cooking and personal hygiene like washing of hands or washing of feet. So these are essentials. The students must have an access to this in order for us to meet this program. So sufficient water for cleaning the school premises by flushing the toilets after using or before using, and then the cleaning of food vessels used for midday meals. Like for example, most students would really take their lunch in school, so they need to wash their hands prior to eating, and after that they need to wash their um, equipments. So toilet facilities that are gender specific. So there should be an area for the boys and there should be an area for the girls. Sufficient, child friendly, adequate and well equipped, well maintained, and naturally appropriate. So there is a ratio. One bowl is in ratio or in proportion with 36 students, and in high school one bowl is in proportion with 50 to 56 students. So hygiene, promotion, and education, child cabinets, poster, wall paintings, messaging, events and competitions, community and household linkages, promote personal hygiene and school hygiene, especially individuals and group hand washing, nutritional supplements. So how are we going to implement this? By doing some educational promotion on how they're going to do like wall painting, signages. This is very important not only in schools or not only for PE and health subjects, but also to inculcate this in other major subjects like math and sciences. Okay, excuse me. So what are the 7 essential elements of WINS? Okay, so number 1 is water. Water is very important in this program. Sanitation is also the second one, and the third one, daily group hand washing with soap. So in the moment we are going to teach our students the value of hand washing, therefore we are inculcating in their minds the value. What are the things that we can prevent if we are washing our hands? No, so we are going to do this as a daily basis, as a daily process, because if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to practice this can never be a behavior. Once the behavior has already been established, it will be natural for the children to learn such activities like hand washing. So operation and maintenance is also essential, and then menstrual hygiene is also important, like teaching some female students on how to dispose their proper sanitaries after they're using, what are the things that they need to do in order for them to get good hygiene. So eventually, as the time goes by, the behavior changes because of the activities that we are creating. And then the capacity building, like of course, as I've mentioned, the facilities which are available in the school, the cleaning supplies that are available, and especially the water supplies. So now we're going to talk about the policy of this program. So A is to ensure the correct knowledge and understanding among leaders and effective hygiene and sanitation project. So you're going to improve the equitable access of safe water, adequate toilets, and hand washing facilities, as what I've mentioned earlier, and improve hygiene and sanitation practices among the learners and enable them to develop this life and positive hygiene and sanitation behavior. So these are already behaviors, healthy behaviors that you are going to develop. So even if they are practicing this in schools, you will observe that even if they come home, they would also encourage their siblings to do this hand washing or this form of behaviors. And letter D, to ensure the schools are kept clean and safe through a school-based solid waste management. Proper drainage, of course, is very important. This is under the structural facilities of a certain school. The elimination of breeding grounds of mosquitoes, like for example here in the Philippines, we observe that we have high rates of dengue fever. So some of these vectors are just within the community, within the school. That's why the DepEd have been conducted several programs on how to disseminate this. Not only the school, but also the local government officials are already doing and implementing this. And of course, food sanitation. And letter E, engage in public and private partnership for program implementation and sustainability. So this program cannot be possible without the help of other people, no, or some government and non-government organizations. So the Department of Education has been conducting semi-annual deworming of kindergarten and elementary school children in all public schools nationwide under its integrated helmet control program. So what are these? These are vectors that are just within the school or within the community. If you're not going to wash your hands properly, so this kind of illnesses are just present within our environment, and these are natural pathogens. So deworming with daily toothbrushing has been also under this program, and proper hand washing have already combined this. So deworming, before, as I remember, we usually conduct deworming programs every year or annually, no? But in the present situation, I have observed that the local government units, especially health centers, are conducting deworming every 3 months. Okay, so this is really to implement the infection control. So we need to control these possibilities for this young generation to experiencing this kind of infections. And then toothbrushing also is very essential and is very important, especially in kindergarten and school age, especially in elementary. And proper hygiene is also, of course, the main topic for this kind of program. So worm infections can be a huge impact on child's life, no? So even though you are providing the right nutrition to your children, even though you have already instructed, you've already given some seminars and lectures to the parents, how are they going to combat malnutrition, you've already instructed them on how to prepare food, which are the go, grow, and glow foods, what are the essential in the needs of these kids. But if there is a problem with the infection, like for example, one good example is the helmet. So children will really experience difficulty in sleeping because they have really very discomfort in their abdomen. So this will reduce the attendances. They may sometimes experience diarrhea, which of course may increase the absenteeism of your school. So this will reduce the physical and cognitive development, and of course reduce the economic production. So this is how very important deworming is, because as a whole this will affect the student itself. And also toothbrushing is very important as part of for good personal hygiene. Okay, so the Department Order number 56 series of 2009 titled Immediate Construction of Water and Hand Washing Facilities in All Schools for the Prevention of Influenza A H1N1. So as far as you can remember, no, during this time, H1N1 has been one of the sisters of this COVID-19 that we're already experiencing now. So they have implemented this program as essential healthcare program for the school children. So were issued in an effort for institutionalized good health and hygiene practices, of course, among the students. Now, the policy and guidelines for the comprehensive water, sanitation, and hygiene in schools programs, the rationale of this, as of 2014, the program was able to cover about 16 of the country's 17 regions in partnership with a number of government organizations, GOs and NGOs, non-governmental organizations that have continuously sponsored health kits, packages for more than 3 million pupils nationwide. So congratulations for that. And 68 out of 220 school divisions with 9,366 EHCP implementing schools out of the total of 38,689 public schools. So what is the ratio of pupil to bowl? 1:36 students, equivalent to 1 bowl in elementary. So 1 is to 54 in high school, pupil to bowl ratio. So most likely, we are encouraging that one room must have one bathroom or one comfort room, because in one classroom there is a total of maximum of 36 students. So one bowl is already suited for that. So what are the scopes of this policy? So this policy and guidelines shall apply to all public and private elementary and secondary schools nationwide, including learning centers. No? So the scope of this must be implemented in all areas, elementary, high school, and even in tertiary. We are also implementing this. Okay, so what is the statement policy? The statement policy and objectives of this program is designed to achieve learning and health outcomes and improve the school attendances of children. So through a comprehensive, sustainable, and scalable school-based water hygiene, sanitation, and deworming program pursuant to state's mandate under 1987 Constitution to defend the rights of children's assistance, including proper care and nutrition, and special protection for conditions prejudicial to their development, as well as to protect and promote the people's right to health and instill health consciousness among them. So this policy intends to achieve the following targets. So what are its targets? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 targets. So number 1 is the water. So all schools shall have an organized system to make adequate, safe water and a well-cleaned water for hand washing, toilet use, menstrual hygiene management, and cleaning purposes available to all students during the school hours. Number 2 is the sanitation. Sanitation, all schools should have clean, functional, safe, and accessible toilet facilities that meet the pupil to bowl ratio, as what I've mentioned earlier. So, cleanliness and safety in and immediate vicinity of school premises through school-based solid waste management is also very important. Proper drainage and the elimination of all possible breeding grounds for mosquitoes to prevent vector-borne diseases and ensure safety in food handling and preparation. So these are the basic requirements. So for all hand washing facilities must be available in the school premises. Water should be available, and for the hygiene program or supervised group, daily hygiene with water is also essential, and daily tooth brushing with fluoride tooth. So students practicing individual hand washing during critical times, provision of adequate group hand washing and toothbrushing facilities, including regular maintenance in coordination with partners. No? Okay, so the school-based solid waste management is also essential, like the proper segregation of waste products. Hygiene. All students in school shall perform supervised group and daily hand washing with soap, and of course brushing of teeth with fluoride. Now for health education. All teachers, head of schools, facilities coordinators, and head personnel shall be oriented on the DepEd WINS program. For trained teachers are conducted health education in coordination with community leaders. During PTA meetings, all pupils and students shall have a higher awareness of correct hygiene and sanitation practices and develop positive health behaviors. Now, how about this deworming? So, at least 85% of all students should be dewormed semi-annually, like every 6 months. But for now, as I've observed, health centers would do the deworming conduct every 3 months. So, the capacity building all DepEd WINS program implementers shall undergo orientation on the programs as needed. So these are the policy targets that we really wanted to achieve. No? And now, you're going to talk about the roles and responsibilities of such offices. So for central office, The DepEd and its key stakeholders are the one who is implementing this policy. So the following shall take their responsibility, like for example, the central office. So they develop these strategies and action plan, including setting up the WINS technical work group. So they issue related policies to take charge overall executive of the WINS program. They allocate hints and prepare logistic plans for the WINS program. So these are the responsibilities of the central offices or the central offices, and undertake capacity development of the technical assistance to program implementing of school. Then undertake program oversights as well as monitoring and evaluating, analyze data for the field, and issue recommendations for improving programs and implementation. So the conduct of network and coordinate with partners, agencies, organizations, local government units, CHO, program advocacy, mobilization of public awareness and campaign and promotion. So they are responsible for this. Treatment referral, if in case there are some cases, high cases of incidents that are very related to this WASH program, so they will be referring to a certain LGUs or health centers. So legislation monitoring and overall policy compliance. And then coordinate with the physical facilities and school engineers in the determination of the following. Number one is the standards and specification of WINS facilities, wherein the comfort rooms are available, lavatories are all available, the drainage is clean, the availability of water is there, and the proper septage and wastewater disposal is also very important. The correct specification for hand washing facilities, this is also their responsibilities. And outside school classroom for daily activities, adequate of toilet and hand washing facilities, exclusive for boys and girls. So usually it is 50:1, 50 students to 1 PAW. So they also coordinate with the Bureau of Curriculum Development for the inclusion of the following, of course, in the implementation of the subject matters in the K-12. And then, in order for us to develop the benefits of proper hand hygiene for food safety, the key concept on menstrual hygiene and management, age-appropriate, culture and gender-sensitive, and interactive. And then close coordination with the Department of Health to ensure regular supply of deworming medicines to DepEd regional offices and school divisions. So they are the central offices or the core group in organizing and implementing these programs. Now, what are the responsibilities of the regional offices? They provide technical assistance to division offices and conduct trainings and orientations. So, the funding sources, the link up with partners, central office. Then they provide support for logistic plans, conduct training, undertake program advocacy to local government units, implement incentives and awards for best division implementers. They conduct also monitoring and evaluation. They conduct annual performance implementation review if the programs are being implemented, and they are going to evaluate that. Now, how about the school division offices? They provide also technical assistance to district and school coordination with partners, conduct training, develop for the implementers, then coordinate with the local government units, conduct monitoring and evaluation. Then they are going to submit the annual report, consolidating all the jurisdictions no later than first week of December each year to the regional office. What are their implementations? And for the school shall ensure effective implementation of WINS policy and its program activities in the school setting, secure the support and participation of community, including PTA and other stakeholders. They collaborate with key partners to put a place system in the mechanics on how they're going to implement this program or policy, and then craft specific roles and responsibility of each member of school personnel, and ensure the inclusion of programs in the implementation of the annual plan. So they gather necessary information for effective monitoring and evaluation of the program. They also conduct annual performance implementation and review of this WINS program. So they also submit report at the end of the first week of December each year for school divisions. And then the DepEd partners also, they provide technical assistance, ensure support for the implementation of this program. They strengthen in the monitoring and evaluation documents and share best practices, approaches, and strategies. Now, how about for partnership and linkages? So we have government and non-governmental organizations wherein we can coordinate in order for us to succeed in this program. Now, how about for the funds? Of course, the school has also an allocated budget for that. And then the funding for the effective and sustainable implementation of the WINS program shall be sourced from the budget of school maintenance and other operating expenses, or what you call MOOE, in accordance with the school-based management system mandated in Republic Act number 9155. Specifically, the MOE budget shall finance the proper maintenance and repair of school hand washing, toilet, water supply, water disposal facilities, and the provision of regular supply of water, as well as clean running water for hygiene and for sanitation. So, monitoring and evaluation. So, as what I've mentioned earlier, they are doing the evaluation yearly, annually, and they're going to report it annually at the beginning or the first week of December. So the school division through the School Management Monitoring and Evaluation Section, SMMES, shall periodically monitor overall implementation of these policies and guidelines to determine its effectiveness. So civil social organizations that are actively involved in monitoring school-level programs and projects may also provide assistance to the task. Okay, so these are the policies in order for us to have this the WINS program that are already being implemented as they submitted this policy. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you've learned so much from this. And thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoyed this topic. So thank you so much.